So somebody a while ago recommended that I actually should do like a little walkthrough of what exactly I usually bring to set as an Assimilate live effects operator, especially for virtual production sets. You're not gonna maybe want to bring all this stuff, depending on if you're union or non-union. Some of this stuff would be something that you would grab from the video department, but I think that all this stuff is really helpful, at least for me, when I kind of have to one-man band everything. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a little walkthrough. We just have this toolbox I bought from Target, and it's actually served me really well for almost 2 years now. So I like it a lot. I think I need something maybe a little bigger soon, and I have a big like sort of bag of cables that I also bring along, but it's mostly Ethernet cables and stuff, so that's not as important as the stuff I have in here. So first off, we're just going to start from the left over. If you've watched any of my other videos, I swear by this little TP-Link USB-C to Ethernet adapter. I actually usually carry 2 or 3 of these, but I kind of always lose them. They're like 10 bucks though, so it's not bad. I get them at Micro Center in Long Island, no, not Long Island City, Sunset Park in Brooklyn if you live in New York. If not, I'm sure you can get them on Amazon for about the same price. Right here is a Blackmagic design micro converter, HDMI to SDI. This thing freaking rocks. There's whenever I need to do input captures, and actually I should show this alongside that, the Ultra Studio Recorder 3G. So these two things in tandem are really sick. And actually, if you look beneath here, I think I do have an SDI cable that I connect in here. Yeah, I have an SDI and an HDMI cable at the bottom there, and I'll get to that section in a minute. But these two things are really great for input capture nodes. The Ultra Studio Recorder can bring in either an SDI or an HDMI signal. If I'm getting an HDMI signal from somebody else, I like to first convert it to SDI, from HDMI to SDI, just because I feel like I get a much quicker frame rate and less lag with the video or with my input capture, whether it's from an Unreal computer or another computer that's running another copy of Assimilate or whatever. But whatever your output is, if it's just SDI, bring it into here. If it's HDMI, bring it into an SDI converter, then bring it into the Ultra Studio Recorder. Next, let's see, I'll just take stuff out as I do this. I have a whole mess of thumb drives right here. These two are USB-C thumb drives. This one I use for transporting media between computers. If, say, like the Unreal operators, like I can just give you the scene, I just throw it on here usually. This is almost exclusively for updating Quasar Science tubes, because that's the bulk of the fixtures I tend to be working with sometimes. So I'm going to do a separate video on how to update those fixtures, but yeah, this is really helpful and probably like the best working drive we found for the Quasar fixtures. And then I have these two. This is also a USB-C, but it's also a USB one, so it's both. That can be really helpful depending on, if you're pulling from a computer that doesn't have USB-C, but yours does. This is really helpful. And then I have this USB, just regular USB thumb drive. This is really good for a lot of lighting fixtures that may need that. A lot of lighting fixtures update just through that. I know that the Gemini light panels do. And then one second, I gotta grab something from my desk because I know it's not in here. Here we go. So then I also always bring one of these. This is a little USB-C dock for a computer. It lets you have an HDMI out, some regular thumb drive ports, an extra USB-C port. But what's really important is you get an HDMI output. This is more helpful for when I'm teaching classes and stuff because I need to output to a TV. But this is really helpful, especially if you have one of these modern Macs that took away all the ports to look nice and clean and slick. This is to ruin the aesthetic and also make your computer functional. These are just a bunch of cables for the different devices I have. iPhone cable for charging my phone. These little Allen keys are the universal Allen keys for the Quasar Osmium arrays, and also the sliders and just really anything that you're going to be messing with a Quasar fixture. This comes in the pack when you buy a tube, so I always keep 1 or 2 of them on me. This is a USB-C extender. To be honest, this thing doesn't really work super well, but I have it on me just in case I need multiple ports. It works for some things, doesn't work for others. It definitely doesn't work with lightning cables, but I have this lightning cable. This is really, really important. It does not come with Blackmagic devices, but you need it for a Blackmagic device. So for the Ultra Studio recorder, you need to do Thunderbolt because bringing in a video signal, you need a lot more bandwidth than a regular USB-C cable. And then over here, I have some Sharpies. I always bring white gaff or colored gaff with me so I can label things, especially the fixtures, just to know like what mode they're in and also like what universe and everything. So that's really helpful as well. And then underneath, bink, we have my boxes and stuff. So this is really, really super essential, especially if you're working with a bunch of different manufacturers' fixtures, which you always will be. You're never going to use fixtures from just one manufacturer. That's unrealistic. This is an Obsidian control system network switch. It basically allows you to bring in an SACN or ArtNet signal. For 99% of my purposes, it's always an SACN signal. And then you can output up to 4 universes of DMX512. And then you just specify in here like which port is what universe. So you can make this universe 21, 22, 23, 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 110, 111, 113, 114, whatever you want. And this is really, really helpful if you're like connecting in like a bunch of SkyPanel S60s or a bunch of aperture units or using like Geminis, which sometimes don't have SACN. This is really helpful. So I always like to have one of these on me, and I really advocate for people buying control gateways. Like I said before, I have my SDI cable and my HDMI cable. These are for just converting signals from my input captures. I have 2 Netgear switches, or 1 Netgear switch and 1 TP-Link switch. I really only bought the TP-Link switch because it was a little cheaper and I needed it really quick on the day for a shoot, and it's all the store had. I've heard from some board ops, especially the TP-Link one, can be hit or miss. I haven't had any bad experiences with it so far, but I just figured I should mention that. Netgear here, the Netgear ProSafe GS108. This is sort of the gold standard for desktop switches. And then these are just plug and play switches, so you can just branch out your signal for whatever for SACN. And then I have power cable for the switches and for the gateways. And then right here, and actually, let me get a cable for this. Yeah. So this is kind of the unsung hero of any Ethernet networking setup, and it's something that back when I was a set electrician, especially rigging on TV shows and stuff, the first few days of rigging a show, we would always give somebody this task. But this is a cable tester for Ethernet, and for some reason this battery door is not going on, so I'm just going to keep that open for now. So if we grab an Ethernet cable, which I have one right here, and we turn this on, right, we can then plug the Ethernet cable into one side of this, and then one to the other, and then it just tells you each pin if it's firing or not. So this is just running a signal down each pin. So the ground one never turns on, so if you get 1 through 8, then that means this is a good cable and it's good to go. But if you're having like network issues, if you're not sure what's happening, if like everything looks right, but the signal is just not getting to the fixtures somehow, and you're, you know, testing the universes and you're not getting the data, one of these could save your life. And what's really cool about at least this brand one is that you can separate these, so you can have this one like 100 feet away from this one and you can still test the cable. So yeah, this is kind of everything I have in my kit. And then I run with like a Western beef bag. I'm realizing a lot of you don't know what Western beef is. It's a grocery store down the street from my house. And then this just always has like Ethernet cables. It has power strips for like my desk so I can plug all my things in. Some cube taps. That's just because I was trained as an electrician. Some 5-pin DMX cables for the Obsidian gateway, so on and so forth. For demo purposes, this is fine, this bag here. But if you're on like a legit film set, filming a legit TV show, you should have milk crates and stuff of these already. So yeah, that's pretty much what I carry with me when I'm gaffing something, when I'm programming something, especially for virtual production. This is a really good start. And then having your fixtures, obviously, is helpful. This is more helpful for like demos and classes and stuff, and having like, you know, a larger infrastructure of this stuff would be helpful. Like I can imagine a, you know, big union TV show would probably need 5 or 6 of those gateways, or, you know, 20 or 30 of those Ethernet switches. But yeah, that's about that. So thanks for watching.